Hello, Brother Nashi. How are you? Please post my story as did an identity. I am a Zimbabwean woman who is currently staying here in Polokwane. I am 24 years old. My name is Primrose. I have my secret that I want to share with you, and I want advice from your listeners as well. I have been working in South Africa since COVID. That was when I came to South Africa. I stayed with my friend, then I met my husband. So me and my husband, we had been together after the lockdown had ended, and we have one child together. I am a 24-year-old woman currently living in Polokwane in South Africa. Back home, growing up, life was very difficult. I grew up in a location in Harare. I grew up in a house of women only, just me and my mother. I never knew my father, even though I am always having dreams about my father. He comes to me and he tells me that he wants me to come and visit him so that I can see him where he is buried. I once told my mom about this dream. She was so angry. She does not want me to know who my real father was, so I never knew my father. My mom told me that she met him whilst she was working as a lady of the night, in brackets. My mother, she was a sex worker. She used to travel across him, but she met this man, she claimed, near Bridge. He was a truck driver. My father was coming from Johannesburg. They had a brief encounter in his cabin, and by the time that she realized she was 3 months pregnant, the truck was long gone, and my mom claims that they never had any communication at all. But in my dream, it was as if my mom, she knew exactly where to find my father's relatives. My mother was never married. My mother, she raised me by continuing the only trade that she knew, to sell her thighs. She knew to keep us alive. She was a professional, but she never brought her clients home whenever I was there. I grew up hating the fact that my mother was a prostitute. As kids, when you are a parent, the type of a job that you do, your child can be bullied at their school because of the work that you are doing. That is the situation that I encountered when I was growing up, because my friends, those that knew that my mother, she was a prostitute, they would bully me, saying that my mother is a prostitute and I am also going to become a prostitute when I grow up. You know, kids, what they are like. So I hated it, even though I knew that what my mother was doing was what was helping us in life, and if she did not go to work, then things were going to become so bad for us, we could not be able to survive. But still, I hated my mom for that, and I wished that she could get a proper job, even though she was responsible. I respected her, but I never wanted her because of the work that she was doing. I wanted to be a wife, not to become like my mom, to have a real home and to have children who will not have to guess who their real father was. It was then when I came to South Africa, as I was starting to work in a place that is called Nirvana, that was where I met my husband. This man, he was someone that was good. They were busy putting some fiber and cables there when one day when I was cleaning the driveway, then he came to me and he was brave enough to ask for my phone numbers, and I gave him my phone numbers. One thing led to another. When I met this man, I will call him Ashley. He was someone that was very good. Ashley was a good man that I had dreamt of, and he told me that he had a company that he had. We started dating, and I felt as if finally God had done it for me. I told him about my fatherless upbringing, and he accepted me with open arms. The only thing that I hid from my husband to be was my mother's profession. You know, when you are entering into a relationship, I had learned it from my past mistakes that there are other things that you are not supposed to share with someone that you want in your life. And I said that even with the person that you love, you are not supposed to share them. There might be too heavy to share. And a man, one day when you are fighting with your man, he might say you are like this because your mother is a prostitute. There was a guy that had done that to me, and he had hurt me really bad. As for Ashley, he was a man full of action. He did not just date me, he married me, paid the lobola, the bride price, and we organized a small wedding back home in Zim. He helped me, Brother Nashi, and we started to stay together. My marriage was like a paradise. Then we had a child. I thought that I had finally broken the curse of my mother's life, but it was when my mother came to visit when I was about to give birth. That was when I started to notice that there was something that was happening. So Ashley started cheating openly. He became cruel. When I confronted him, he insulted my womanhood. He told me that he did not want to stay with a log of a woman because I don't have a big nash. He said that these South African women, they have big curves. They know how to take care of themselves. You are like a burden to me. He even told me that he just wanted to leave, and I was drowning in stress. I started to go to work even before I had properly healed after giving birth because of all the things that he was saying. I am a hard worker. I will never depend on a man who insults me. So I started to go back to work in Nirvana. In my desperation, I turned to the only person that I could trust, my mother. I told her that my marriage was dying and that Ashley's words were killing my spirit. My mother did not hesitate. She told me that a home is built with medicine. She told me that when she was still doing prostitution, they had to heavily rely on using muti in order for their clients to keep on returning back to them. She's saying to me, my daughter, you need to lock him so he only has eyes for you. In October, I then went to Zim under the guise of me visiting my sick mom. She was not even sick. My mom then took me to a famous traditional healer in Bindura. We went to a place that is called Chipadze. This woman, she is someone that helps even when your husband does not love you anymore. I told her everything and she looked at me and she said, this is a small problem, but to lock a man like yours, we need to make sure that the charms are very strong. She told me that I was supposed to look for a place like an abandoned house in the city, and then if I find out that the gate has not been opened in a very long time, I was supposed to put a piece of red cloth, and then I had to slaughter a black road runner close to that gate and spill the blood on top of the photo that I was going to print of my husband. This ritual, it was something that was so chilling for me. The healer told me that the black hen, I had to call Ashley's name into its ear before I slaughter it. She told me to kill the bird whilst reciting a curse saying, Ashley, if you ever touch another woman who is not me, you are going to die just like this hen. After the blood was spilled, I was supposed to go and throw away that lifeless chicken in the bushes. So then we returned back to Harare. When I returned back to Harare, then I went and I started walking and I saw that there was this other house which was abandoned. And then I walked to the gate. I saw that the grass, it was overgrown and there was no one that was staying there. And then I went and I looked for a hen. By then, I did not know what my mom was up to, because when I was in the consultation room, even though I had gone with her, she was not with me in the consultation room, and I was told not to never repeat the curse to anyone until I had sacrificed that chicken. So I was alone when I went to sacrifice this chicken. I went to that house which seemed to be abandoned. I took my small piece, the red cloth, and I tied it to the gate. Then I took the photograph that I had printed out at the internet cafe of my husband, who was in South Africa by then, and then I put it on the ground. I looked and I checked and I saw that there was no one that was watching me. That was when I whispered into the ears of that chicken and I said, if anyone is going to sleep with you, you're going to die just like the way that I am going to kill this chicken. And then that was when I started to slaughter that chicken and poured blood on top of the picture that was on the ground of my husband. So after that, me and my mom, we never found the chance to talk about the rituals that I had done, because I was in a rush to return back to South Africa, and we had to buy some stuff because I used to sell in locations where I would sell brooms as well as reed mats as well as ground nuts. This I will bring back to South Africa when I would have returned back to work. So I returned back to South Africa, and when I came back, my husband became the loving husband again. So this other secret woman that he was dating disappeared because I did not know whom he was dating. He started to be obsessed with me, and he even took me on a vacation to Cape Town. We were the happiest couple. We were very happy than we had ever been. I thought that finally God had done it for me. I thought that the medicine had saved my family. I did not know that things were about to go so bad. It was when we had returned back to Polokwane after that vacation, that was when he told me that he needed to drive to Zim to see my mother and to see his relatives as well, and he wanted to see his mother-in-law. I stayed behind in Polokwane with my child. He arrived at my mother's place late at night, and I did not know that they were sleeping with each other, but on that night they did not sleep with each other. But my mom then came to South Africa, where she died in my own house. We were fighting when Ashley returned back to South Africa. All of a sudden, we started to fight, and I don't know why we were fighting. And I said, oh God, that woman is now back into my life. This is why me and my husband, we are suddenly fighting like this. So I did not even know what else to do. Then I started to speak with that Sangoma again. She did not have a phone that had WhatsApp. I sacrificed. I went to Pep, and then I spoke with her, and then she said to me, I am going to do a ritual whereby this woman that is sleeping with your husband is going to bring herself closer to your husband. All of a sudden, my mother then said that she wanted to come to South Africa. I really did not know why she was forcing me to come to South Africa. I did not know that she was the girlfriend that my husband had been dating. She came. I don't know where she got the money from, because usually when she would visit, she would tell me to pay for the bus fare since she has no passport. So I would pay for everything, and then she came. By then, because me and my husband, we had been fighting, and my boss had taken me back, I then went to work. When I went to work, my husband lied to me that he's going to work. He just drove his car. I'm sure that he parked somewhere, and he waited for me to leave the house. I left my mother with a grandchild who is my son, and then I went to work. When I was at work, Brother Nashim, my husband, what I did not know was that he drove back home so that he can sleep with my mother and they can enjoy in front of our child. So the moment that they started to engage in the act, the lock that I had put on that gate, that was when it snapped. The ritual was designed to kill him if he was going to enter into another woman's private part. And I meant any other woman, including my own mother. I never suspected that my mother will do something like that. Ashley died right there in my own bed with my mother underneath him in the middle of the act. This trauma, it had broken my mother's mind since she kept it as a secret, because I did not know that this was what had killed my husband. She called me and she was crying, and then she said Baba Tenda had returned back. He was saying that he was having chest pains and I should not tell you, but when I went to give him the food, then he was not responding. When I opened, I saw that he is dead. And then I called my boss, who told me to run back home to see what was wrong. By then, the police were already there because she was crying. There was no one who even knew that she was the one that had killed my husband, and my husband had died whilst he was on top of her. When I was still crying, that was when I received a phone call from the Sangoma back home, and she asked me if the person that had been sleeping with my husband, I had seen her. And I said, no, my husband is dead. I don't know what you are talking about. And then she said that she was looking into her mirror and she saw that my mother was the one that had been sleeping with my husband, and that is why my husband had died. I went to where my mother was and I said, Mom, is it true? She looked at me and she said, what are you talking about? Why are you saying, is it true? What is true? And then I asked him if my husband had died whilst they were making love. She was shocked. She looked at me and she looked away. Then she started walking and she said that she was going to commit suicide if I was going to tell the people that were gathered there. So I did not want to raise my voice because I did not want to lose a husband and my mother on the same day. Then I said, we're going to talk about this after the funeral. My husband's relatives, they came, they helped me a lot with the funeral arrangements, and then off we went to Zim with my husband's dead body. After the funeral, I spoke with my mother and I asked my mom why she did something like this. She said that she apologized and she was sorry for what she had done. She found my husband to be attractive, and she said that all the problems that I had been facing in my marriage, they were being caused by the relationship that was happening between him and her son-in-law. And she said that she is willing to pay me. She said, I will pay you with 2 cows. Brother, I refused, but then the Sangoma said that I should call my mom and go with her to the shrine. We went to the shrine, and then she was given some charms to use on her private part, because that lock will continue to kill other men that she was going to sleep with. I hate my mother. I wish that she had never given birth to me. I wish that I was never a daughter of a prostitute. I am back right now in Polokwane. I'm still waiting for God to end my life because of what happened. When I look at my son, my life is just a mess. Even though I am working, it is painful to know that my husband, he died in between my mother's legs. It is a trauma that I can't get over even to this very day. I am paralyzed by what I did, and what terrifies me even more, I regularly have a dream where I see a man that is walking towards me, but this man, as he is walking towards me, he is still very far. I wonder what is going to happen to me if it ever happens that this man gets to the place where I am. Maybe he is here to kill me, maybe he is coming to sacrifice me, but I feel as if it is the spirit of my late husband. The other thing that I want to know is that, can I be said to be someone that killed her own husband, or my husband, he killed himself because of him cheating with my mother? I wish that I had told my husband that I did these rituals. He was supposed to keep his body to himself and to only sleep with me. Maybe he was not going to die. I even regret the things that I did. I wish that I had walked away. Me and my mother, we do not have any relationship at all right now, because how can I continue to have a relationship with my mother? I am always blocking her new numbers. Whenever she uses a new number, she speaks with me, then she tells me that she is sorry for the things that she did. But I am finding it too hard for me to forgive her, because she was the one that was making me to suffer. My husband was lying to me, saying that he was dating a South African woman, yet he was dating my own mother, sleeping with my own mother. It is something that he should have never done. At least if he was sleeping with another woman, it was far much better, but he was sleeping with my own mom who gave birth to me. I can't forgive him. This is my confession, bro. I need advice. Am I supposed to forgive my mom for what she did to me? When you post my story, you will tell me. I'll be in the comment section. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our DM sister. Let us speak with them in the comment section. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. I'll be back with another episode.